Good afternoon, guys. I thought I'd do a webinar on lots. Some of you might find the program a little bit cumbersome, and I just wanted to run through several helpful hints on how to do certain functionalities. Hopefully you'll find this effective for you. So without much ado, I'm going to go into and start going through the functionality of lots. When you open lots, you'll see on the left-hand side a number of functionalities. At the bottom, there's also a search bar. This search bar is very, very important because if you are unaware of where things live, you can easily search for them. For example, if I want to print off a sales report, I can look through the certain sections and go reports, sales report, and then go to the different sales report. Or I can go to, oops, exited out of it. Sorry about that. Or I can write in report and it automatically takes me to all this report, or I can write sales report and it automatically takes me to the different types of reports that are available. So this search bar is very, very effective, and it's very, very helpful when you want to try and find something where you don't know exactly where it lives. Okay, so the first option in here is a dispensary. We don't actually use the dispensary at all. We obviously use Fred dispensary, Fred software. So in the lots module, the dispensary button is very, very rarely used, unless for particular functionality, and that is to either delete a patient, or to delete a debtor. If you want to delete a debtor from your system, you have to do it through the dispensary module. To do that, you click on the dispensary module. Once you're in the dispensary module, type in your code and then go to File. Sorry, you go to Edit, Edit Patients, and then Delete Patient. So here you can type in any patient, and then if this patient has paid off their account and is no longer coming to your pharmacy for whatever reason, you can then go ahead and delete this patient or debtor off the system. Unless you do this, that person will always be on the debtors, and you will always have to rely on them. You'll always, whenever you're printing any reports, those reports will always have their name in it or their debtor file in it. So that's what we use the dispensary system for, or the dispensary module. The second part is sales. So we're all familiar with sales. Sales is a very, very key functionality of lots. So again, I'll just go through the functionality of lots. When you do open the sales screen, you'll see that there is the current day's sales up here. If you want to view sales from a different day, all you got to do is go to View, Other Day's Sales, and type in the date. For example, you want to view the 1st of October 2015, and that'll list all the sales that were done on that day. Obviously very effective if you want to reprint an invoice, receipt, or check if something was paid for correctly. So all you've got to do is go to the particular sale, and then you go print, and that'll print off a copy of this for your reference. Obviously, if you want to do a sale, it's very, very easy. You press here, you type in your code, and you go ahead and scan the items. If you want to bring patients script, you press that star button, and that'll bring up a script link. You type in the name, and then you type in, and that should come up. Okay, so that's basically how it is. If you want to put it on account, you can put the name up the top, choose the account you want, and then when you teal off, you teal off under other, okay? Or they'll have an account, okay? So that's basically that. If you want to abandon a sale, you just abandon the sale. If you want to check a particular price of something, you hit the price check, you type in or scan the product, and it'll come up with a price check. To do a return, you can do it through the new sales, and then obviously do it through, for example, you want to do a script return. I think hotkey number 1 is a miscellaneous script, or I'm not sure exactly which one is There it is, prescriptions is hotkey number 2. You want to do a return for a prescription that was returned to your pharmacy, accidentally picked up. You can do negative and then $6.10. Okay, so you can do it through there and then obviously process the refund, or you can do it through returns. So once you do it through returns, it'll ask you for the date of the original invoice or invoice number, and this is important to keep a track of. Okay, so this product might have been bought on the 30th of September 2015. And again, you put 2, and automatically it'll come up in negatives. Okay, so that's how I would prefer that you do a refund. If you do want to refund and scan and also charge someone, then you'll have to do it through the sales screen. We don't do any agency payments. We don't do any paid outs. We don't do any cash lifts. We can print a receipt. So if you want to go to a particular sale, you can print a receipt, and that should print a receipt off automatically. You can do an account payment, so you can type in the salesperson is yourself, put your code in, the customer is a surname, you pick up the customer. This customer doesn't have an account, but if they did have an account, for example, I know that one of the customers there is Mr. Ronald Hayes. So Ronald Hayes, it'll come up with the current balance, how much do they want to pay, maybe $50, and whether they want to pay it by cash, check, EFTPOS. Obviously, check and EFTPOS are our main modes of payment. You can also do a stock transfer. So again, put your code in, put the store code, so Northcote, there's the PharmaSave Northcote, shop GXO607, and from there you can, because they're the same ABN, you don't want to charge any GST. So yes, you wish to make this GST free sale, say yes. Again, you start scanning the different line codes, so whether it's Panamax, you might want to be transferring Panamax, 12 of them, to the other store. Now it comes up with a message here saying that your stock on hand is actually 10, but you want to transfer 12. Now you might have an invoice in there that hasn't been entered, and you know that your stock on hand is accurate, so you just say, yes, I want to transfer 12. Automatically, it'll tell you that the stock on hand value here is -2. So you'll need to keep an eye for that and maybe check that out. Okay, once you've scanned all your items or entered all your items, you press finish, and that'll print off 2 receipts, or one invoice, one to give to us, to the other store, and the other one to stay at your store. There's no lay-by, no script queuing. So those are the basic functionalities of LOTS in the sales module. Under orders, so orders is where obviously we do all our ordering. Again, you type in your code. When you get into here, it's very, very important that you follow this particular process. First of all, you need to create an order. So creating an order by here, pressing the create button. If you want to send your order to Sigma, you can, or if you want to send it to another wholesaler, maybe Central Hospital Supplies, I think Central, you can obviously type it in. There it is. Now you want to, most of the time, do a blank order, okay? And then you want to press OK. What that does is brings up a blank order for you to start, obviously, populating yourself. And the way to do that is by pressing insert. Now, I don't actually have an insert button on my Mac keyboard, but if you did press insert, I don't know what my insert button is here. I'll have to do it the old-fashioned way, but there we are. So add a button, add an item that you can either scan or type in the PLU. Okay, so you can scan Panamax, type it in. Now you know you want to order 12 of those, and so on. So you add all those. Okay. Now once you finish, you then hit the transmit button, and that sends an order off to the wholesaler. When the orders do arrive, if you send an order off via this system, or via Farmex, you will get an electronic invoice coming back, which is in here. And these electronic invoices need to be entered in so that computer cards can stay up to date and that all the stock on hand values are correct. Now, for example, this has been transferred to Sigma by Kim. So this one is a Humira, for example, and if that has come in, then all you've got to do is auto deliver this invoice. I won't do that here. I'll prefer to do it in real life to show you how it's done, but that's basically where the invoices come in so that we can automatically deliver them into the system. Okay, it's very, very simple. If you want to view, see a particular invoice, whether it's been received or not, then all you've got to do is go view, search, and if you know the invoice number, you can type in the invoice number. Say, for example, it is 17322. Orders and invoices. So let's try another one. Search. Or, for example, we can view current. Now, if we take note of this particular invoice here, I'll just show you how this system actually works. So this invoice, for example, is 442658. 442658. So if this invoice had already been entered and you wanted to bring it back up and see if any details on it, you'd go view, search, invoice 442658, and there it is. Okay. You can also view invoices that are being completed throughout the whole time. Now this is obviously going to be a bit slow to bring it up, but this is going to bring up all the invoices and orders that are completed and have been processed. We might skip that one. It's a bit slow, obviously, because it's trying to bring up all the invoices and orders that have been either ordered or delivered into the system. Might have to Control-Alt-Delete this one. Okay, so back into orders. Type in your code. Okay, if you want to receive any invoices that haven't appeared as yet for you to deliver, you can go to orders, press invoice, and that'll actually go through and see if there's any uncollected invoices, and if there are, it'll drop them into your system ready for you to auto deliver them. Now, when you do that, it does come up with a system where the wholesaler can set certain things as being out of stock. Now, obviously, we want to add those to an out-of-stock file. So it says here at the bottom, these items will be automatically removed from the order if you do not reorder them. But we want to make sure that we want to be able to reorder these. So we've clicked all of these in here. And what that does, I'll show you in a second. So it come back with a message that no invoices are available for us, but there's always going to be this reorder file or line here. That's basically all the stock that's out of stock at the moment. And if you look through it, it's a good idea to print this off and go through the different online wholesale terminals to see which ones you're able to order in and which ones you're not able to order in. Okay, so that's a very useful tool. You can obviously merge two different orders, but we don't want to do that at the moment. Okay. To bring up a list of invoices for a particular time, you can go completed ordered invoices and current ordered invoices. You can do it if you haven't delivered them yet or into the system. This tells us how much you have spent on a particular time frame. Don't click the supplier because we want all the suppliers to come up. We want the date range, for example, the 1st to the 4th. and we click OK. This will bring up all the invoices from the 1st to the 4th in the system that are yet to be order delivered or have been order delivered, and we know that from the 1st to the 3rd we have spent a cumulative total of 18,239. So this is a good way to see how much you're keeping up, how much you are spending, and knowing roughly how much you need to keep yourself in line with what you need. Okay. All of these options here I'll go through in later time, but for the time being, this is all you need to know for this particular module. Okay, stock cards. In stock cards, you can do a number of functionalities. In here, obviously, all of you are aware that you can scan a product or type in a product or type in the POU of the product. So I want to bring up this and show you exactly what this all means. This is very, very, very important that you know and get your head around, because a lot of the details in here is what really, if you get these right and make sure that these values are right, the system runs much faster without any duplications. The reports you print are accurate, and therefore you can use them to actually to some use and put them to some use. So, for example, each particular line that we sell in the pharmacy should have a stock card. This is a stock card. It's got a product name. It's got a PLU. Okay. Now, this PLU can be changed from store to store. This means that this PLU might be 605,980 in here, but for another store, it could have a different PLU. This particular number is only store specific. If you type in 605,980 in your store, you will get Panamax. But if I type 605,980 in a different store, I might get Panamax, or I might get a totally different product. Okay, it's very important to know that PLU is only store specific. UPI. Now, UPIs, you can't change a UPI in here. Okay, there is no way you can actually or be allowed to change a UPI. So the UPI is set by lots themselves, and it is specific or characteristic of the product. So Panamax 500 milligram 100 tablets has the UPI 1776. Okay, and if you type that in the UPI file at this store or any other store that uses lots, you will get Panamax. Okay, so regardless of where you actually look up 1776, in any store, you will still get Panamax. Just to go back to PLU, if I go to PLU and I press F2, you notice how I changed the PLU. So the PLU now has changed to the very next available PLU in the system that we can designate to Panamax. Now, this is important that you don't change that, because if you do change the PLU, it affects the barcode that's printed on the label, and so therefore when you come to scan that with the PharmaScan, you will not be able, if the PLU here is different than the one on the label, you will not be able to scan this product, or if you do scan this product, it'll come up with a different product. Okay, again, if I press F2, it'll just come up and start spitting out all the different PLUs that are available. Again, this particular line needs to be in a department and a sub-department, so it's under analgesics in analgesics OTC, okay? And these are pretty much the only information you need to add. Now, you can add a point of sale system here and say buy 2 and receive the second at 50%. Now, this is the way to do two buys, because in the store or through lots, there is no way at the moment to set a promotion where if you buy a particular line, say it's Panamax in this case, and you buy it at $3.75, or you can buy 2 for $4. So there's no way of setting that in Fred. Okay? So, in lots, sorry. So that's a system where you can, and I'm going to leave this here for the time being to show you how that applies when you do actually do a sale for that particular line. Okay. Okay, so again, in here, there's the barcodes for the particular line. Now, these are important. The barcodes need to be here for you to be able to put them through the sales screen. Otherwise, you will not be able to do so. Okay, to add a barcode, you right-click, add a barcode, scan the product, and press OK. Or if you want to delete one of those, you highlight, right-click, and delete the barcode. Okay, here is a list of suppliers from where the product comes from. The P is the preferred supplier. Now I know that the preferred supplier is not API. My preferred supplier is CHS. So if I double click on this and I click this button, and I will now let the computer know that Central Hospital Supplies is where I prefer to get my product from. Okay. You have a look at the bottom. You've got a sales history. Blue is last year. Yellow is this year. Green is what you expect to sell in the month. And purple or maroon is what you've got stock on hand. Okay, so that tells you exactly your sales, your purchase history, so when you bought it last time. So this is very, very easy way of checking when the last time you bought it and the price you paid. So you can see that regardless of where you pay it, where you get it from, whether it's Sigma or CHS, you're always going to be paying $1.52. Okay, don't worry about this sales per versus purchases history. It's really a turnover product, so it's not really important at the moment. Okay. On the right-hand side, you see a number of different options available for you: pricing, stock flags, ordering, labels, and promo. Again, we can go pricing. This is where we know what our real cost is. This is how much we paid, okay? And this is how much we're selling. Therefore, the markup is 129%, and our gross profit is 59.5%. Okay, now you can change the markup, but you can't change your gross profit. So, for example, if I want to change the price, or if I want to have a markup of 200%, it'll automatically change it to 490, and it'll automatically change the gross profit. Okay, so again, you can play around with the markup, but you can't change the gross profit. Okay, strictly speaking, the pricing is all will be done by myself, so you don't really have to worry about that particular area. But the pricing, knowing where to find the real cost is here. The list cost is what you pay before any discounts are applied. The real cost is the final end of store cost that we have to pay. And this is the price to the customer, which they pay, okay? Stock flags. It's very important to have this update ticked, which means that if there's any changes to the packaging or the barcodes or any information that needs to be, that comes through from the suppliers, when you do run an update, it'll automatically update information. If you do not have this updated, if there is a change in barcode and you process the update, it will not update the different values that you need. The other options on here don't really aren't very important. It's to do with basically the way the stock is ordered or priced. So this, for example, is an ask price. Is if you actually put it in or scan the product, it'll ask you to enter a price. Now, this might be effective when you have sort of different lines within a range that you're trying to clear. Okay, and you've gone with the gun or priced them with a gun, you know, those yellow stickers, so that when you do scan it, you might have, you know, ones that are expiring, for example, in a month, or ones that are expiring in 3 months, and you might have the ones that are expiring in a month at a higher or at a different price to the ones that are expiring in 3 months. And that's if you tick the ask price, every time you scan that product in the sales screen, it'll ask you to enter the retail price that you want to charge. Okay. Seasonal, if you tick that one, it'll just delete the ones. It won't bring up those ones in a particular time when you come to order them. Again, you don't have to worry about that. Reordering means, you know how when we sent the order to a supplier, it then came back and told us that these particular lines were not available and whether we can put them in, whether we wanted to put them in a reorder file. If you don't have this ticked, then when you do send it, and it comes back as out of stock, it won't allow you to put it in a reorder file. But obviously we want to be able to do that because it's easier to just open that reorder file once a week and then be able to go through on the online portals and order those particular lines. Price on label, we obviously want all the prices on labels because it's easier for the customers to know exactly how much they pay. Whether we want to allow a discount or not, this is something that I will need to set, no one else can set, and generally speaking, all items are net into store with no allowable discount unless we're trying to liquidate the stock or trying to get rid of the stock. Again, we want the label on the shelf label, so either we print a shelf label, it'll have the price, or we print a goods label, the price will be on the label. If we tick the discontinued button, this will not allow us to order it in the future. Okay. Ordering. So here we can set the minimum stock on hand where we would put in, for example, we want to know that we want to, when we get to 10, stock on hand level of 10, and we will automatically be alerted to order this particular line, or we can never order this line when we have got 100 of this particular product in the store. That's basically in here. Now, if you want to change the minimum order quantity that is applicable to a particular line to get a best discount, the way to do this is you have to click on the particular supplier, and here you have to put the minimum order quantity that you would have to order to get the best possible discount. Okay, so this is a user setting, this is a supplier setting. The supplier settings do apply only for products that come in a pack. For example, first aid dressings that might come in a packet of 100. This means if you order one, you will get, if you order one, you will get, or carton size one, you will get 100. Okay, but for example, if we put 6 in here, it'll tell you that when you do order it, that the minimum order is actually 6 to get the best possible discount, and therefore it's probably in your best interest to order 6. Okay. Labels, you don't have to worry about any of this. This applies to mostly dispensary labels, so you don't have to worry. Promo, you can prompt that message if you want to add some companion items. For example, when sending Panamax, you want to add a heat pack, for example, or I can't really type in here, Voltaren, for example, Voltaren Amul Gel, and I'll show you how this applies. So every time we sell Panamax, it'll come up and say to us, do you want to, you might as well ask the customer if they want to buy Voltaren Amul Gel, okay? So that can be left in there for the time being, so I can show you how that applies. Actually, we'll take that off and I'll show you how that works later on. Okay, so that's the information in here. Now, if I want to make any changes, I can press save and that'll save the information. Now, I don't want to do that in that particular case because I've changed a few things in here to show you how it works. You can go to the previous card or the next card. Not very, very important. You can do goods labels for stock that needs to have a label, individual labels on it. For example, stock that's in a basket that needs to be cleared, you would need to have goods label. For example, stock that doesn't have barcodes, you need to have goods label. Or you can do a shelf label, which is a single label that can either be put in the shelf stripping or stuck in a promotion box that allows people to know how much this price is. When receiving a stock, so at this particular stage, I'm going to press search. It's going to ask me, do you want to record the changes that I made to this line? I'm going to say no. Again, I want to show you how the UPI works. Now remember, the UPI for Panamax is 1776. Again, if I press that, see, automatically it comes up with Panamax. If I press the PLU, which was 6, let me check again. 605980. That will allow me to press, whoops. So if I press PLU 605980, it'll also bring up Panamax. Okay, now if I if I know that I'm getting some Panamax from my store, from the other store to this store, and I have just asked for a transfer of that, if I really quickly just want to put it into stock on hand, all I need to do is press stock in, and then I can put the quantity of how much I want and press OK. And that'll automatically add it to the stock on hand. Okay. Branches we don't use, because branches is when you have multiple stores and you want to know which store can afford to send you this product. You can add this to a special if you want to clear it. So if I add this to a special, it'll go in here, put your code in, and it'll ask you, oh, okay, you get Panamax at $1.64. You normally sell it at $3.75. How much do you want to start selling it off now? And you can put $1.99. Now you want to set a start date of, for example, the 4th of the 10th, 15th to the 31st of October 15. Okay, or you can sell it by how many maximum items you want to sell. Okay, and you can call this as a particular name. You can have a point of sale message when it does appear. So at the moment, this is a waiting special because it's in blue, and I can press OK. Now it'll still be $3.75, but I'll show you how that applies. Now before I do that, I can go into, I wanted to add a few messages. So for example, we said buy second Panamax at $1.99, for example. And I want to add a promo where a companion sale of Voltaren. Now I just want to press search, and I want to say yes, I want to save this product, this information. Now also what I want to do is to hinder here, this is what I was talking about. If you want to activate a special and you don't know where specials live, you can just type in specials. And here it comes up with the specials, add edit special. Now you'll know that when we do add edit special, you'll see that there is a special line that we've put in here. Now that special line has now become active. What does that mean? That means that when we do sell this particular line, so if we go back to the sales screen and we want to sell Panamax, there's a number of functionalities that it'll say. It'll say that there's some specials that have become active today. Do you want to, new prices have been added to the shelf label queue. Do you want to print those off now, or do you want to wait? Most likely you would want to print the shelf labels, but for this particular webinar, we're just going to say it's change and continue. Now, if I want to order Panamax, I can go into my sales screen. Now I know that the Panamax is 605980. Now it automatically comes up with a message saying, if you want to buy, there is a promotion at the moment, buy the second Panamax at $1.99. Now if I buy, now see how the Panamax here has automatically come up at $1.99? This is because we've set up a special at $1.99. We know that it's normally sold at $3.75. Again, if we put 605980, there it is. But we can set the first one at $3.75 and the second one at $1.99. Okay, so we just want to go back and change that special. So again, if we go exit, we go specials. Type in your code. It'll bring up the specials, and if you want to finish this special off, we just highlight it, and we want to file, delete the special. Are you sure you want to delete this special? Yes. Okay. Now if you go back to the sales screen, and we type in 605980, it'll start scanning back at the right price, $3.75. Okay, so that's a very, very simple way of making sure that you're able to change prices and allow yourself to allowing itself to have a more control on the products. You can have multiple windows open, so you can have the sales screen whilst also having the lots, the stock card screen open. So for this particular webinar, I'm just going to remove that promo message that I was bringing up. The Voltaren Amniol Gel, I'll show you how this applies. So I'm going to just remove this for the time being. Search. Yes, I want to save. Now, if I want to sell Voltaren Amniol Gel 100, oops, so Voltaren. No, that hasn't worked for some particular reason. I'm not sure why, but I'll have a look at that in a second. Okay, so that's the stock card functionality. As you can see, there's lots of things that you're able to do in here, and a very, very important way of actually managing your stock card. So this is a very, very important module within Lots that you need to get your head around. Claims, we don't use this anymore because it's obviously related to dispensary, and we do all our claims through Fred point of sale. Debtors. So this is a functionality within Lots that manages all our accounts. When you open your debtors, you will find that you have your debtors ordered by alphabetically ordered, okay, by surname, or they can be ordered by account number if you press account. So at the moment they're ordered by name, or they can be ordered by address, etc., etc. So we're going to order them by name, obviously, and that orders them by surname, or sorry, by first name, okay, not by surname, by first name, okay. Now again, you can search for a particular account. So for example, if I want to check my Zagami, for example, I guess Zagami, there he is. I'll double click, and that tells me all his previous purchases and what he's been buying if I click on a particular statement, double click on that, it'll tell me what he's bought in September. Again, it'll tell me what he's bought in August. He hasn't bought anything in August. July, it'll tell me what he bought in July. So we're not sure exactly. So we can see exactly what has been charged and what hasn't. Okay. Now with debtors, if you want to go to a particular month to check all the debtors and what they owed, so at the end of 31st of August, if you press the 31st of August, it'll bring up all the names. Again, it'll do it like this. Okay. And it'll bring up all the, 31st of August, and it'll tell you at the 31st of August, Arthur owed 18, A. Calderon owed 51, Nicolopoulos owed 31.29, etc., etc., etc. So this is also a very good way of knowing who owes how much at a particular time. Okay, next thing we need to do is how do we add a new debtor? If you want to add a new debtor, you would basically go to File, I think, no, View, or Tools, sorry, Tools. Now to add a new debtor, this is a very interesting way of doing this, but you basically edit customer and then go new person. Fill in the details. For example, it's Smith, address, phone number is very important. Then you go to account and say it's an own account, okay, and you can set a credit limit. Generally speaking, only the pharmacist manager should not only be setting these, okay, and then you have to dedicate them to a particular class, whether they're a staff member, work cover, patient, pharmacy, another pharmacy, or a Docet customer or a customer or to do with PharmaSave. You can also add a message at point of sale that says, for example, double check correct changes given to make sure that all items are particularly charged in a particular way so that you don't have an issue with the particular account in the future. You can also stop the credit when you want to make sure that this patient cannot be putting any further purchases on his account until something has been resolved. You can say to charge scripts automatically. This is when scripts are done from the point of sale. So from Lots dispensary. In generally speaking, we never do this because we have a different way of doing it through Fred. Okay. And also now you can email statements to a particular email. So if you put the email account there, you'll be able to email the statements off to that particular customer. Okay, so cancel that for now. We don't want to add Smith. Just wanted to show you how to do that. To print off a statement, you can also go to, for example, Franzi. There she is. Okay, that's the 31st of August, or you can go Franzi. There she is. Oops, so you go Franzi. And these are all her statements that we have been getting so far. So to print off a statement, you can shift and highlight. Oops, here. I want to do it here. Or control. Is it control? No, so you can print all statements, in which case it'll print all of those for you. You can print selected statements. You can print a current view, which just prints off this, okay? And that's very effective to see how much is owing at a particular time. To view a particular class of patients, you go view by class. You want to view all the Docet patients, for example, and these are the patients on your Docets that also have an account and how much they owe, okay? So it's a very effective way of knowing who's owing how much, okay? You can search for a debtor, which we can do at the bottom. You can search for a statement if you know the statement number, or you can search for an invoice if you know the invoice number. So that's a very, very quick way about debtors. So for this particular module, particular webinar, I will stop here because the other module that we want to go through is reports and tools. This is a very, very big one and will require a separate webinar. I hope it hasn't been too boring for you guys. I hope you're able to get something out of it. If there's anything in here that you're not sure or you would like some more information from, please let me know. I'm happy to go through it. For now, goodbye and have a good afternoon.